Um, where were we? So where were we on this? La di da di da, something with healers. Okay, buffs. They mostly boil down to allies in hunter, haste for increased weapon skill, or even generic things. Enemies use like paralysis or blind. I think one job can inflict it. And it's not like it even matters anyway, because the farmer like enemy and trial design would hardly give you reasons to use those kinds of debuffs over just bursting things down if the enemy weren't immune to it in the first place. I don't know about that. I feel some type of way about removal of cross-class stuff and how gear are just stat sticks. Don't even get me started with gear in the game, but I'd be whining extra hard at that point, so I won't talk about it. No, no, this is valid, brother. The gear in this game sucks balls and dick. Okay, maybe it's me, but the jobs don't feel special anymore. Needing a bard to refill MP and TP were annoying, but it made them stand out. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't know about this. See, I didn't play in Stormblood. I didn't play when TP was still a thing. So it's hard for me to even have an opinion about this. I just know what it is. See, it's different when you just know what it is compared to when you actually did it. You know what I'm saying? When you actually played it with the thing. For me, just hearing of how it works, it sounds super fucking annoying, and I would not want that shit back in the game. That's what it sounds like to me. Like, that's my opinion, right? But I never experienced the game with this in it, so it's hard to say. That's just my initial opinion. That's what I initially think when I heard about TP. That's it. They were always helpful to have. Needing to time in Asuna for a pacified warrior or being able to res someone as a paladin when you're out questing just makes more involved, if that makes sense. I missed the time when the Charlatans had to think about who to give buffs to, or bards help in the resource management, or when Dark Knight felt more aggressive since it was always the only one with a gap closer and had to manage their MP, or even when warrior had naturally more HP because of his tank stance. So here's when he mentions about that gap closer, why the fuck does warrior have 3 gap closers? That makes no sense. I don't understand. Isn't 2 enough? Isn't 2 gap closers enough? Why would it need a 3rd one? I don't get that. Okay, like that just makes it bloated for no reason. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it is true that like that didn't feel the same, especially I started in Shadowbringers. So looking back after, you know, we're this far into the expansion, when we made that transition over to Shadowbringers to Endwalker, it wasn't really that much different. Dragoon didn't feel that much different. Like, it just felt like it got quality of life things. The difference in Dragoon really between Shadowbringers and Endwalker is that in Shadowbringers you at least had to think a little bit about, you know, if you use Gert Skull or not, or if you delayed it so it would fall into the buff window. You just had to think a tiny bit for that. Now you just don't, because everything's gonna line up 2-minute. It's a 2-minute meta, right? So it definitely didn't really feel like, oh, it's not a huge change, right? It wasn't that huge of a change at all. So here's the problem. They make the game a lot more easier and a lot more simpler for all these new players that are grab. But I feel like the same people who they made it for are gonna start to get sick with it, are gonna start to kind of think it's boring, because I definitely kind of feel it's a little boring to do this shit, man. The way it kind of works, like I still think it's fun. I still think the combat is fun, but you can't help to think back. There's no sense of variety. There's no sense of there's like no thinking involved, basically. Like, you don't have to think about anything, man. You just hit the button off cooldown and that's it. You're good. Okay, rare occasions do you have to like delay something, but it's usually not a part of the job. It's usually because of the boss or because of the mechanic or something. The next expansion will attempt to provide exactly what the game has been providing so far, with minimal changes to keep everything up to date. If you've been following news about Square Enix, you would notice the company isn't doing so well. What? Wait, is that even true? Am I like missing something? Is that even true? The last thing they need is 14 to experiment and learn to far out the window and lose its player base. The next expansion is going to be more of the same. I don't agree with this at all. is Square Enix really doing that bad with how successful 14 has been in like the last 4 years, and with how good 7 Remake came out to be? Are they really doing that bad? Like, yeah, they've been doing stupid decisions with like NFTs and shit, but like, I don't think they're really like struggling hard. Like, are they? I don't really agree with that. I don't, unless I'm like missing some shit. I don't think so. As a side note, I don't think the problem lies with the abilities. I think many jobs feel samey because of the underlying way the game is played. Another I remember disease, you don't necessarily have 100% cooldown uptime like in Final Fantasy. I played some classic WoW the other day and realized just how much of the damage is dealt through auto attacks while not pressing anything. This turns using abilities into decision-making processes rather than having it be a strict rotation. New rule is the same. Often you use auto attack and spells or accents more than anything. In this game, all jobs have the same goal of keeping the GCD rolling with no exceptions, leading to very few options when it comes to making things stand out. I mean, yes and no, right? Like, you can't deny that like playing the game in Heavensward was extremely different than what it is now. Even probably back in Stormblood, it was still pretty different, right? Strict rotations indeed are unique to 14, but that's not the issue. The issue is that Square went out of their way to make them all nearly identical to each other in the name of balance and appealing to the casual player. Balance, yes. Appealing to casual players, no. They routinely done things for raiders. The 2-minute meta wasn't for casual players. I don't agree with this. I think 2-minute metas were for casual players, and they still don't do it. Casuals are not the boogeyman upon which you can blame all this. See, this is hard to say. I haven't been playing the game for that long to know, but it definitely seems that their decisions in like the last 2-3 years have definitely been to appeal more to casuals. Okay, I don't care about this anymore. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I forget what the event is called. What is the event that is like the anniversary of the game each year? Is it called the Rising event? I forget. But there was the event. It was the Rising 2022 event. So in the message, one of the things that the message Yoshi P says is that there is great change coming, right? Now you can interpret this in different ways, right? This can literally only mean to the story, right? Which is, I guess, okay, because, you know, I do love the MSQ, so it's whatever, right? But I would like to think that it has a deeper meaning. I hope when he means a great change, I hope that he's not just talking about the story. I hope he means for the actual game itself, okay? Because I've been seeing some of the things, like, you know, some videos and saying that the game has been very similar since Stormblood. Like, Stormblood was how long ago? 2017? That's gonna be 6 years ago, dude. 6 years ago, okay? The game has been similar for the last 6-ish years. Since Shadowbringers came out 2019, the game has been very much the same since 2019, okay? Nearly for 4 years, it's been very the same, okay? Now, I am thinking myself, come 7.0, and thinking about what I did this expansion and all how the game works. If I'm thinking about doing the exact same thing and experiencing the exact same thing again in 7.0, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna quit the game, but let me tell you that, like, that's gonna be pretty lame. Okay? I really hope that 7.0 will be different. Will be something different. Okay? Can it be different? Can Gearing be better, man? Can it be better? How about that? How about giving us that first? Okay? Maybe I'm just on fucking copium, man. But like, I think it's a problem. I think it's a problem. This very samey thing for each fucking expansion. Like, this is technically my first expansion, and I'm already kind of sick of it. Like, I'm already like, okay, like, I already want something different. Can you give me something different next expansion? I don't want to do the same thing again. I'm still gonna pay your game because I'm a fucking simp, okay? Because I fucking love this game. But like, man, I don't know. When I think about this going to the same thing again, it's like, that doesn't seem like very great. Okay, that doesn't seem very great. But I don't know, man. We'll have to see. Like, I don't think we'll get anything in this next coming live letter. But probably FanFest. Like, I think the first FanFest might set my expectations for the expansion, depending on what they talk about, what they show, it's gonna set my expectations. I just really hope things will be different. Okay, we'll have to wait and see.